There are men a woman dates, and then there are men a woman remembers. Not because of money, status, or appearance, but because of how they made her feel. You see, women forget what you said, they forget what you did for them, but they never forget the emotional imprint you left behind. The man she never forgets isn't the one who tried too hard, begged for her attention, or did everything to please her. It's the one who carried himself with quiet confidence, deep presence, and emotional intelligence. A man who made her feel something beyond comfort, someone who awakened her heart without losing his own identity. A woman never forgets the man who made her feel safe in his silence. Most men believe safety comes from words, reassurance, and constant validation. But the truth is, the kind of safety a woman craves is energetic, not verbal. It's the calm energy of a man who isn't shaken by her emotions, who doesn't panic when she's distant, who doesn't lose control when she tests his boundaries. That kind of stability makes her trust him on a level that's hard to describe. She remembers the peace of being around him, how her chaos settled when she was near him. Because real masculine energy doesn't chase calm, it creates it. She never forgets the man who respected her mind as much as her body. Attraction without depth fades quickly. When a man truly listens, not to reply but to understand, he makes her feel seen in a way that no one else does. He doesn't interrupt, he doesn't correct. He allows her to express herself fully, even when she's emotional. That kind of attention imprints deeply because it's rare. Most men listen to respond. Few listen to connect. And a woman never forgets the man who made her feel intelligent, valued, and emotionally safe in her vulnerability. She never forgets the man who made her laugh in her darkest days. Not the one who told jokes, but the one whose presence was light even when life was heavy. When a man can turn pain into perspective, fear into faith, and silence into warmth, he becomes unforgettable. A woman connects not just to words, but to the energy those words carry. If you can bring her comfort without control, joy without conditions, she'll always remember you. She never forgets the man who didn't lose himself trying to please her. Many men think devotion means surrendering their identity, their time, and their purpose to keep a woman happy. But a woman respects and remembers the man who didn't. The man who stayed kind but firm, loving but grounded, present but not dependent. He didn't need her validation to feel like a man, and that's what made her admire him more. Because deep down, every woman craves to trust a man who won't lose himself in her emotions. She never forgets the man who made her feel feminine without trying. A man doesn't need to talk about being alpha, dominant, or powerful. His energy says it all. When he walks with direction, speaks with purpose, and treats people with respect, she feels his strength. Around him, she doesn't need to compete, argue, or control. She naturally relaxes into her softness. That feeling of ease is something she never forgets. Because in a world full of chaos, being around a man who radiates certainty feels like home. She never forgets the man who left when he wasn't respected. Every woman remembers the man who refused to stay where he was undervalued. The moment he walked away, not in anger, but in calm detachment, something inside her shifted. She might have taken him for granted, thought he'd always be there, but when he finally chose peace over proving himself, she realized his worth. That decision left a mark deeper than any romantic gesture ever could. Because walking away with dignity speaks louder than begging for attention. She never forgets the man who saw through her masks, the one who noticed when her smile was forced, who sensed her distance even when she said she was fine. A man with emotional awareness stands out because he connects to her truth, not her performance. He doesn't expose her pain, he understands it. He doesn't judge her emotions, he holds space for them. That kind of man becomes etched in her memory forever. Because in a world where most people only see what's visible, he saw what was real. She never forgets the man who pushed her to grow, the one who didn't let her settle for mediocrity. A woman might resist that man at first. She might even argue or fight him. But in the end, she respects him more than anyone else. Because he didn't love her comfort zone, he loved her potential. He held her accountable, not out of control, but out of care. And long after he's gone, she remembers how he challenged her to become better. Growth leaves a deeper imprint than comfort ever could. She never forgets the man who stayed emotionally present. In a world full of distracted men, presence is a form of power. When he looked at her, she felt seen. When he spoke, she felt heard. When he touched her, she felt grounded. That level of awareness is intoxicating because it's so rare. Women meet many men, but few are truly there. Fully, attentively, calmly. That's the man she'll remember when the rest fade into the background. And finally, she never forgets the man who taught her something about herself. The man who entered her life not to complete her, but to reveal her. The one who showed her what real love, respect, and emotional maturity look like. Even if the relationship ends, his presence becomes a reference point. Every man after him is unconsciously compared to him, because he raised the standard not by being perfect, but by being real. Dr. Alina Rose often says that the most unforgettable man isn't the one who tries to be everything to a woman. It's the one who embodies himself so fully that she feels something she's never felt before. That's why women never forget the man who carries peace in his presence, truth in his words, and strength in his silence. You don't have to chase her to be remembered. You just have to become the kind of man whose energy leaves a mark deeper than desire. The kind of man who reminds her that real masculinity doesn't demand loyalty. It inspires it. So understand this truth. Women don't forget the man who made them feel safe, alive, challenged, and understood all at once. They forget the gifts, the promises, the moments, but they never forget the feeling. Because when a man touches a woman's soul instead of just her body, he becomes a memory that time can't erase.